Hi, I'm Dave Jones again, and this is the second EEVblog, the Electronics Engineering video blog. I had a ton of feedback from the first one, so number 2, here it is. Now, there were a few people who suggested that I change the drab office background I used last time. So here we are, we're at the bench. So it should provide some visual eye candy for people who want to be a bit distracted from my talking head. First up, we've got a book review. And as usual, it's a book of interest to electronics engineers. Now, this time I've chosen High-Speed Signal Propagation by Howard Johnson. His first book, High-Speed Digital Design, a handbook of black magic, is basically is the industry bible on high-speed digital design, transmission lines, stuff like that. So if you're into anything to do with high-speed digital, you really should have a handbook of black magic. But this one is the follow-up to that. It's the Advanced Black Magic, and it really goes into more advanced topics, and that weren't really covered in the first book. So it doesn't really cover the same ground. It's a complementary book which supplements the other one. So if you've got that, I'd highly recommend this, and it gives you a great 2-volume reference set for signal propagation and transmission line design, PCB design, and high-speed digital stuff. I've got a handy website for you. If, like me, you spend half your day on DigiKey and Mouser and Farnell websites just trolling for parts and trying to find the best price or the best availability and stuff like that, it can be a real chore. And it'd be nice if there was a tool that searched all of them at once, and luckily there is. And I use it like 10 times a day sometimes. It's really amazing. It's called findchips.com, and it's a real basic website. It's just got a single search window. You just type in the part number you want, and it cross-references dozens of different vendors, and it gives you whether or not they're in stock, price, and all that sort of stuff. And it's real simple. There's no fluff, there's no ads. The guy who runs it's a bit of a mystery. We don't really know. It's just a contact us email. But it's a fantastic site, and I've never found it to actually be broken. So and I do know that the likes of Mouser and DigiKey and the big ones do like to change their database access a lot. So the guy's really kept up to date on searching for that info. So give it a go. Findchips.com. I've got an article in this month's Silicon Chip magazine, April 2009, about this new project I've come up with. It's really simple. It's called the microcurrent, and it fixes a major problem to do with almost every multimeter on the market. Now, I've really, since I developed this little project, I've lost count of the number of people who have been baffled that their multimeter, even a precision Fluke 87 multimeter that they've been using for 20 years, is in many cases useless at measuring precision current. Be it in DC or AC circuits, and it's to do with burden voltage. Now, most people know about burden voltage. There's a shunt resistor inside the multimeter that drops the voltage when you pass current through it. No problem, easy, right? But most people think it's really small, but it's not. The closer you get to the full-scale range of the meter, the bigger the drop, obviously. Now, a really good meter, like the Fluke 87.5, it will have, well, this one actually has 1.8 millivolts per milliamp burden voltage. So if you pass 200 milliamps through this, if you try to measure 200 milliamps, that's a 360 millivolt drop. Now, that it may not sound like much, but really 360 millivolts is, if your circuit is 5 volts, bingo, you've already thrown your circuit out of voltage spec probably, let alone a 3.3 volt circuit, or I'm working a lot these days on 1.2 volt circuits. So it's, a current like this, you really can't, a meter like this, you really can't measure precision current with. It's crazy. But yeah, a lot of people seemed embarrassed that they don't know that their meter is not very precise at all. And that goes for virtually every meter on the market. There are some that are almost an order of magnitude worse than this, and price really doesn't have much to do with it. You can pay $2,000 for a multimeter and it's still going to have the same problem. So just be wary of it. Burden voltage. Now it's time for Chip of the Week. Ta-da! This is where I mention a really handy chip or some other device. And today it's not a chip as such, but it's a range of chips and a technology called ANT. The website is thisisant.com. This is ANT. And the ANT chipset is basically a low power, extremely low power, wireless networking solution. It's primarily used in the fitness market for those chest transmitters that people wear. The ANT chipsets are a complete single chip solution that they include RF transmitter, they include the protocol stack, and you can set up private or public networks with these chips. And they're quite easy to use, and the website has a really good power estimator. So you type in your parameters, what data burst rate you want, and it tells you how long your battery is going to last. So they're really handy. They are competition to this new low power Bluetooth standard that's around. Now ANT's not actually a standard, it's more of a proprietary solution, but Nordic Semiconductor make the chips for those as well as for the Bluetooth, low power Bluetooth standard. And they're worth keeping in mind if you've got a really low power wireless transmitter which you need to implement. So check it out. Now it's time for an equipment review. This is where I review a really cool piece of new gear. Now, since the last blog, I've been absolutely inundated with manufacturers wanting to send me all this new gear. And, well, they say it's in the mail, so I don't really have anything new this week. So I decided to go retro. And so I've chosen the Hewlett-Packard 3478A bench digital multimeter. Now, it's an old model from the 80s, but it's really nice. It's 5.5 digits, and it's something like 0.004% basic DC volts accuracy. And it's incredibly stable, and you can buy them these days and be pretty much assured that it's still going to meet all its specs. And it's just fantastic, 5.5 digits accuracy, and you really can't beat it. You can get them on eBay and all the other surplus places for not much money at all. They go really cheaply. I think I got mine for like $150 or something like that. It's quite cheap, and they're very popular, and there's a lot of them out there on the market. The market's flooded with them. And really, I think everyone should have one of these. It's on their bench. You really can't beat having a really high precision 5.5 digit meter on your bench when you need it. You wouldn't use it for everyday use. You'd use your handheld multimeter for that because it's more convenient, but you really should have one of these. It's got 4 terminal resistance measurement. It's got rear terminals on the back as well, which can be handy. It's mains powered, of course. I think there might even be a battery option for some model somewhere, but yeah, it's a really nice bit of kit. I'd highly recommend you pick one up. I forgot to mention one thing about the HP meter. Yes, the burden voltage actually sucks, but you can't have everything.